All right, all right, all right. How you doing? Welcome to the Heritage Homeschool. It is that time again. It is that time. All right. So, hey, everybody. Hope you're feeling good. I'm Miss Tanya. You are watching the Heritage Homeschool, and today's episode is very special because we're in the final days before Election Day. All right. And we've got someone here with us who truly knows what it means to serve and to use her voice for the people. Former South Carolina Senator Maggie Glover. Senator Glover has been a trailblazer in her time and a powerful advocate for using her voice to bring about real change. All right. We'll be talking about the importance of early voting, making your voice heard, and how to stay motivated even when the campaign signs and the ads seems endless. So whether you're already fired up or feeling a bit exhausted, we're here to recharge your spirit and remind you just how powerful your voice really is. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, and get comfortable, and let's get ready for class. It's the Heritage Homeschool with Senator Maggie Glover. All right, how are you doing, Senator?
Tanya, thank you on behalf of Glover and all of Florence, South Carolina, and its county. Thank you. Thank you, lady, for making this kind of platform, this kind of service delivery for our people. This is so necessary, and particularly at a time like this, we have to have people like you who use the technology to make sure that the people know what is going on. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I tell you what, thank you for that, but most importantly, thank you for you. I always have to do that too. I gotta pay respect where respect is due. So, woo, it's the countdown, Miss Glover. It's the
It
countdown.
is. We now have. Today's the 31st, ladies and gentlemen. We vote Tuesday, the 5th.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, that's the last day to vote because actually people all over the nation and for us here in South Carolina, there's been some early voting. In fact, I voted last Monday on the 21st, the very first day of early voting here in South Carolina.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I have been able to take my seniors to do their early voting. I like the excitement of voting day. And so while I've been to the polls numerous times, I'm going on the 5th because I usually spend that day going from precinct to precinct, getting the count so that we know what to do, who we need to start calling, who we need to provide rides for, whatever. We get to get that information out before the day ends. So I'll be there on the 5th.
Listen, I tell you something. I usually vote on election day, but I got to tell you something. I was just so excited that I couldn't wait.
Very good, very good. And I want people to know that really is the purpose, and certainly my purpose for being here tonight is because this is such a crucial, substantial election. This party is not playing, and we got to have that kind of excitement that you're talking about, knowing how important this is, that you couldn't even wait. And that's what I need my other brothers and sisters to do. When they say democracy is on the line, uh, really, really, it is, brothers and sisters. And they're playing chess, and we running around looking for the checkerboard. No. And to all of you who have already early voted, God bless you. God bless you. And like I said earlier, I've taken my seniors and they've had an opportunity to vote and to visit and to encourage other people who, in conversations, just talking about how we generate the vote. How do we get all of our sisters and brothers out, particularly our sisters, since this election will depend, it will solve. They have an answer for women's rights. And if we don't take it serious and rush to the polls on November the 6th, there's no need to be talking about, no, I woulda, I coulda, oh, Lord, I shoulda. No. No. It is too late.
Right.
The troops will be coming down Irby and Sumter Street because the man told you day one, 10 million got to get up out of here. He said that Hitler only did 6, and he's topping him. Hitler and Putin and every other dictator are the people one of our candidates admires. And he wants an America like that. Project 2025, again, what's that? I heard him talk about that, but again, we have got to share information. We've got to encourage ourselves and each other. Because if you have not heard and you don't know what is in that 2025 project, I advise you to have your grandkids or somebody, you Google that. Go and find out.
That's my favorite thing that you say. And I've got to take that. Google that. I tell you what, we've got some people in here with us already. I want to go ahead and let you know who's in here. We've got Keep the Faithful Tori. She says, "Hey, so how you doing, Tori, over there in Darlington?"
Hello.
All right. Let's see. We've got Tony in here with us. Tony Char. She's saying that this election. She said the election of a lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah, she is.
Thank you, sister. Yes.
Yeah, she's agreeing with you also coming in here and saying to be informed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
To be informed. And one last thing that she has to say here, and we can talk, you've said it, but she's got dictatorship versus democracy.
Yes. That is thank you, sister. Please keep passing it on. Tell them. Your people perish for lack of knowledge. Tell them. Share everything that you have found. Share it with them and encourage others to, honestly, if you just go online and Google it, they will give you all of the information that is currently available. And you need to know what's going on. Right back to Project 2025, I want to show you how these people have already started to implement Project 2025. If you recall, about that would have been in June, at the end, when the a governor came out and told us that, first of all, South Carolina had found, yes, they found $1 billion. When did they lose it? How did we lose it? And then the very next week, he cuts the summer feeding program. If you look around Florence today, no, organizations have attempted to feed our children, but the state that has always had the summer feeding programs at the schools, and cafeteria workers were happy and prepared to have meals for these children, and all of them across all lines, all of them look forward. Many of them, this would be their only way for a meal. It's the meals they got, breakfast and lunch. And in a state as poor as we are, you cut the summer feeding program. And what was more terrifying to me was nobody said anything about it. And when I say nobody in the General Assembly. Nobody called him on that. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you got to speak out and speak up and elect people who listen to you, who know that their job is not to run their own personal agenda, but to run yours. That they come and ask you what it is that you want. Please, honestly, I need you to take this seriously. In the Project 2025 program, the first thing on the list is that they get rid, hold on, of the Department of Education. In other words, they are now going to take public school money and fund private Christian indoctrination. I promise you, look it up. That's what they say in Project 2025. They are going to get rid of the Department of Education. And then that money will then be used to open Christian. And I don't know whether it's a misprint or like their leader, who doesn't mind telling you the truth, but it says Christian indoctrination. In other words, that freedom will also be gone for our children. And school for them will be whatever the leaders that will be appointed if he wins. And on the 6th, no, it's too late. It's too late. And you dare not complain. Oh, look what, the time is now. You get everybody you know. You get them to the polls. You get them there. You got now until November the 2nd. By the truckloads, bus loads, anything that you can carry your brothers and sisters to the polls in needs to be wide open, making sure that they get an opportunity to design the future for their grandchildren, for their children's children. Please, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I am going to mention who I think you should not be supporting. Anybody who tells you that they are going to do concentration camps. Do you remember his first term when in the border they took babies, snatched them from their mothers, their toddler children, their elementary school children, and carted them all off to these gated cages and gave them what looked like aluminum foil little blankets. If they did that to the babies, and I want you to know that there are approximately 600 of those poor children who have yet to be reunited with their families. All the ones that they could locate, their kids have gone. We still rounded 600 children, babies, who are now, 6, 7 years old? Got to, they're not quite that old yet, but you know what I mean. We have to care about that. Women, old men want to tell you what you can do with this vessel God gave you. They're going to decide and then punish the medical profession for practicing their profession. If you tell doctors, if you assist anyone, any woman with an abortion, that's a life sentence. And if you think that they're joking, Texas, Georgia, where we have already lost sisters because their doctors cared about their license, their family, and these people who would surely come and imprison them for the rest of their lives. In Texas, just a month ago, this young lady miscarried, and they allowed her to literally die because her doctor feared losing his profession. And these old men, if you said one thing that as women we wanted, I remember well in the General Assembly, is telling these guys that in the case of the 10-year-old, that they made this child, and I do mean child, carry a rapist child to birth. Come on. No. And we cannot, we honestly, we cannot just sit here talking about my vote ain't gonna count. And you're right. You're right. 50%. Right. The right candidate will not get your vote. But when you don't vote for the right candidate, it's just like voting for the bad one. You're giving him the victory. You're giving them the authority, as they have taken in state after state, where that is already the law. And no, sisters, we cannot sit here and allow somebody who knows nothing about your body and what works for you, your family, and your doctor, and your pastor, and your relationship with God. Nothing. But they are going to appoint themselves king and police chief, everything, and tell you, no, you cannot. You cannot access medical care for yourself. Come on, run now, so you'll be in line in the morning to vote, and then take everybody else you know. One last thing, and this is where you will see Maggie on her way to DC. One of the things in Project 2025 is to end Social Security for the elderly and the disabled. Did you hear me? End. No more Social Security for the elderly and the disabled. Now, the last time I checked, my Social Security came out of every check I ever made as a worker in these United States. They took Social Security out of your every check. That is not federal money. That's your money that they saved to accrue interest, and they paid it back, gave it back to you in your Social Security check now. And if you cut off my hard-earned money, I will be the one walking to DC. They say the R-15s are easy to get, and they must be. They're used everywhere. With my military background and my expert badge, they taught me how to shoot, in other words, y'all, in the U.S. Army. Thank God for them. But don't play. Because just think about that, y'all. All the sons and the daughters and the grandchildren, if they take away your elders' Social Security, and they're going to do exactly what he said, their children will help them. They got other ways of getting help. Really? So, young people, that means you will not only just be working for you and your family, you now, I pray, got to take care of grandma and grandpapa. You got to take care of mama and papa. Because this praised demonic spirit that wants to ascend to the throne intends to end all of that. There will be no EPA. There will be no climate control. All of that is in that 900-page 2025 plan. Long list of eliminations. We will be past slavery. They're going on past that and deporting people, camps, so that the diseased, whatever that man said about all of us, because anybody who does not look like him is an immigrant. And as he usually says, an illegal alien. Again, young people, look up alien. Out of space. They're not playing. And we can't sit up here and act like, no, come on.
So let me ask you a question. You know, we have you here, and it is wonderful that we have an elder and someone in the community who can discuss some of these things, and you're discussing it with such a passion, and you definitely have my attention and the attention of a lot of people who are in the chat here with us. But I was looking at some of the numbers from the early voting. And matter of fact,
please share that. Yes, please.
Let me
Miss
pull
Tanya.
some. Okay, I want to pull something up from my phone. One moment, because I found it very interesting. Because you are from the generation and you're sharing this information with us, and what I notice is that your generation is the one who's out here, like you yourself. I understand that you want to vote on election day, and a lot of people do want to do that, and I understand that. And typically I would do that, but like I said, I just got so excited I wanted to vote early. And before I give these numbers, let me say this. Let me say this about my early voting experience, because this was the first time that I ever voted early. I'd never even been necessarily motivated to vote early, because I knew that I was going to vote. You know, and like you, I just liked the experience of going on election day. Now, when I went to go vote on Monday, it was the 21st. It was the first day that you could vote here in South Carolina. So I'm going to the election office, and I noticed traffic is getting backed up. But no big thing around that part of time, where we live, third loop, it can have a little traffic. But let me tell you something. Traffic was backed up. I couldn't even turn onto the street to get there. I was so overwhelmed. Now, I was happy. This was the first time that I was really happy about traffic.
Yes.
I was.
Yes.
And the thing about it is, I'd just been kind of lollygagging around. Sometimes, we live in a small town. So, like, sometimes if you don't have gas, you're not really worried about it, because, we got gas station around. You can slip in. But I realized I didn't have enough gas for this traffic. I didn't. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have gas for this. So I had to pull out of that line, and I had to go over to the Circle K and fill up on some gas.
Yes.
And as I was getting my gas, I was still like, I was so hyped because the traffic was really backed up. But I devised a little plan. I said, well, you know what? I'm happy. I'm excited. I see everybody else is, thinking like I am. We're going to vote early. So you know what I did? I parked over at the Dollar General, which is across the street.
Yes.
and a nice little walk.
Yes, that
A
is.
nice little walk.
Yes.
But that's what I did. So I parked over at Dollar General and I walked over to the election office. I get there, traffic, parking lot pulled up, line around the building, and I'm just happy to be in the line. So
Very-
excited.
Yes, indeed.
So I had a wonderful early voting experience. And like you said, the last day to do early voting is on November 2nd. So you guys got a couple more days. You got a few more days. Go ahead and do it if you want to experience that. You can go to the
Yes.
election office here in Florence. You can also go to Mount Zion Church and do that, which is where my son actually voted. He voted on Monday. So he had less of a traffic jam than I did, but there were people, there.
Yes.
And so he got that done. Now, I'm going to get these numbers.
Please do. Yes.
Okay, so this was from Monday, so I'm sure it is updated by now, but just to give you a feel of what it looks like, the breakdown by ages. So let me zoom in on here so I can get to Florence. So for the age group of 18 to 24, there were 688 votes casted. For the
Right.
age group of 25 to 34, it was 1,040. 35 to 49, 2,647. And as you notice, it's increasing by age. Right?
Yes.
So age 50 to 64, 5,790. And 65 plus, I want every young person, everybody who's under 65 to hear this. 9,420.
Yo. That's what I'm talking about. They have experience. They know what is going on. We've seen this playbook before.
But here's what here's the thing though. I get that and I know that you're right. But I knew that it would be higher, but I wasn't expecting it to be that much higher.
Oh,
Because
yes.
we're talking about a generation that could really have maybe issues with transportation, mobility, and getting out. The youngest and the most healthy people, you could really add all of theirs up, and you're not quite meeting what the older people are doing in the numbers for early voting.
Mm-mm.
So I feel like young people, we got to do better than them, and we can do better than them.
Yes, and that's why we vote, is because we know the price that was paid. We were here with Dr. King, with Malcolm, with Medgar Evers. We were here and we know the price that was paid. And we also vote because we want our grandchildren to grow from where we were able to bring them to, not to have them go back and repeat. That's why our numbers are higher, and they're higher all across the country like that, because they know, they have experienced this blatant racism. I'm a child of the segregated Florence, when there were no white people, the mailman, the police, the firemen, and then these white women who brought home our mothers, our aunts, our grandparents, brought them home from domestic work. And we don't want that. We don't want that for our grandchildren, to have to start all over again. And so we're trying to model what we want our young people to do. I can't read this, Miss Tanya, but I see a lot of comments. So,
Okay, I tell you what. Let me read some of these comments out here for you because I got one that I'm really happy and smiling here to see. We've got Anna Lee, and she said, "This is my first time ever voting on yesterday." I gotta give you yes.
thank you, baby.
All
Thank you.
right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. And we got Kevin Brooks here. He said, I voted early on last Wednesday, and he's in Texas. Also, we have Tony who said the line for early voting was long. Yes, I'm a witness. It really
Yeah.
was. Happy to see that. Also, Annalise, she says that the workers at the polls served so well. And I gotta say that, you know, we've got to give them that credit. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but you're right. Everybody was in such a good mood. They were very helpful. They moved us through. Like the lines were long. It was. The traffic was out there, but it was very efficient. So
Very good.
I was very appreciative of that. Um, I also see Annalise. She says that that's great statistics to chart and to dive into the reasoning. Yeah, we've got to look at the numbers because the numbers don't lie.
Thank
They
you.
don't. Do not fall for the rhetoric. Do not fall for what will come very soon. We're going to have some people who are going to be questioning the numbers. No, the numbers do not lie.
Lie.
Okay. She also says here that they underestimate. I mean, they understand the importance of healthcare and representation. And I think what she's talking about is the older people, the elders. And she's absolutely right.
Exactly.
Absolutely right. I see these comments are coming on in here, Miss Glover. We're gonna go ahead. Okay, I see Tony here. She says, "Oh my goodness, numbers speak." Yes, they do, girl. Yes, they
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Got a comment here from Annalise. She said, "With age comes so much wisdom." Indeed. I see we got Audrey Davison here. How you doing, Audrey? Always good to have you in here.
Yes. Hey, sis.
Yes, she says, hello, we voted early too. And as always, I plan to be working the election on Tuesday. Please vote, everyone.
Yes.
So thank you for your services. Thank you for all of the poll workers who are out here and doing this duty. It is quite challenging. I've been seeing some challenging things happen. Your patience is hats off to you. That's what I like to say.
Yes.
We got Wendy Kale here. She said, I took my daughter to vote for the first time today.
Excellent. Oh, go ahead.
So we've got people in here with us who are, they're out here, they're voting early. We've got some first time voters and I'm so happy.
Excellent. See, that's what we got to do. Oh, I love you. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Please keep right on. Bring some others, send some others. Yes, we can do this. We can do this, ladies and gentlemen. You can. In fact, we're the only ones. The candidates can just talk about what they would like to do. We, the voters, we, the people, we make the decisions. We choose who shall lead us. And you've got to participate. You've got to make the sacrifice to get there and to always take as many others as you can. Our whole life in this America depends on how we vote November 5th. We can continue to live in a democracy where with a president who has a legitimate plan for moving us forward. And Then we got another candidate whose sole objective is to get rid of the Constitution and take us as far back as possible. Far back as possible. And we're the only ones, the people, we're the only ones who can make a difference. And here I'm talking to everybody, all my sisters and brothers, every last one of you, all my Hispanic sisters and brothers, all my white sisters and brothers, all my Black sisters and brothers, and every other nationality that is present in Florence and in America right now. I speak to all of you. We, the people, must fight to make sure democracy and the Constitution is in place for future generations. Just like our ancestors didn't know our names, but they gave up so much, many their lives, so that this day would come for us, and we can do no less. We are the beneficiaries of their sweat, tears, and work, service. And we now must put that back out there for the next generation. The next. We dare not make our children have to go back and fight for the exact same freedoms our ancestors fought to give to us. Oh, please, please, please. And young Black men, I'm not pointing the finger. I'm not going to criticize you or anything. I am begging you to think who of these two candidates, and go all the way down the line to the local. Which of these candidates speaks for me? Young men, ask that of yourself. Who wants to do things to take care of all of us? Then that ought to be the decisive reason you vote, and vote the right way. I'm sorry, it can't be because he gangster. No, and I've heard that. I think I've told you that before. These young Black men told me, "Well, Doc, we like Trump because he gangster." All of the gangster movies I've watched, all of the ones I've seen, come to an horrible end. And the gangster takes care of gang members. Too many of your brothers and sisters are not in the gang. So what happens to us? Think it through so that you are taken care of. You don't have to pick up a new burden of your grandmama and your mama and your daddy because the gangster took away their Social Security and Medicare, or any way for them to care for themselves. You will be paying light bill and water bill and all of that at 2 or 3 houses if you don't do the right thing now. right now. And I ask you, what has the gangster promised you? Please, please tell us. Because I didn't hear a promise for anything good for any of us. So think on that and make sure your vote helps your people.
Woo, you broke it down for him. You really have. And I tell you this, there are those who say this, and maybe you can speak to this really quick, but I feel like you've broken it down. But there are those who say it doesn't matter either way because we still have to do the same thing. They still have to go to work. Their income is still the same.
If you have listened to one of the candidates, those are the things that she's talked about, that every middle American can get $25,000 on your home, your purchase of a home. She's talked about making sure that grocery, the bare necessities of life, that those prices come down. And not only has she told you what she's going to do, she told you how she was going to do it. And all of the things that she wants to provide for middle America, all Americans, will come from the taxes of the 1% who get all of the breaks. Now, they already billionaires, but you pay more taxes because they got the tax break. As soon as he got in, he gave up a tax break for 1% of the population. He and his boys, the rich guys, they got it, and we paid. So if we can get the money back and have them not just to pay their fair share, to pay, not to try to take their money, but to tax their money like middle America is taxed. So we too can have ways of moving forward, of living a good life. And that's the terminology that she makes as a candidate, so that we can all look to a better and happy future. She's talking about immediately raising minimum wage, because I concur. $7.25. No. But remember, ever since President Barack Obama, in his 8 years, tried every year to get that $15 minimum wage. And the same people who want to put you in a concentration camp now are the same people who made sure that none of their colleagues voted for any such foolishness.
Okay. So I tell you what, this is a good time for you to explain to people how important it is to make sure that, you know, the House and the Senate are going to be able to work with the president. Speak a little bit on that so that people can understand Not only are you voting for the president, but you've got to
Yes.
vote down that ballot. And why?
Down ballot, brothers and sisters. Because, see, that's the way they have maintained control. Right now, we have two Senate seats that are open here in the Florence area. I'll give you those names. And we also have the congressional, the House member, the congressman. That position is up and available. We've got a Democrat, and that's Mel Hyman, and we got a Republican, and he is also the incumbent, and that's Russell Fry. Coming on down, you got in District 30, you got Kent Williams, who is the incumbent senator now, who's being opposed by the former mayor of Marion, Rodney Berry, Republican. And then you got Senate District 31, which is the district that was held by the late Senator Hugh Leatherman. Mike Rickenbach is the incumbent. And the Republican, and he's being challenged by Judge Timmons, Belinda Timmons. All the way down to county council to school board is on your ballot. On your ballot. And the Senate seats are determined. You will not vote for all four or all two of them. You will only vote for the senator in whose district you live. Mine on Sumter Street, where I live, forever, it's Kent Williams, the incumbent. Is there. If you live in on the other side of Palmetto Street, that's Senate District 31. And so you know the candidates. If you go to scvotes.org, scvotes.org, you can get your own sample ballot. They will print out, or they will show you. They will show you the candidates that you will vote for. And you need to know that. You need to know that. Of the seniors I took, several of them asked me, did that when I voted, did I vote for Timmons? Did I vote for George Timmons? And I had to inform them, no, you don't live in Senate District 31. Your senator choice was Senator Kent Williams, the incumbent, and Rodney Berry, the challenger. And you have to know what's happening, and you need to vote for the one who is in your best interest, your community's best interest, your church's best interest. But you can get your ballot right there. Put your name in and your address. They will show you your sample ballot. Technology, I don't have to tell you about that. You know how to do that. So go on and pull up friends and family, get everybody's sample ballot, and make sure they know what to look for and who to look for. And those of you who voted early, share that information. Share it with somebody. Help them. Tell them what you know and why you voted the way you voted. And see, let them have that information. But please, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't give them the right Congress, no matter who gets the seat, well, it does matter, because one of them would be delighted. That meant he would have everything that he needs. If he's got control of the Senate and of the House, it's a done deal.
Also,
25 is enacted.
also, he will have immunity because Supreme Court made sure of that.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. To do whatever. And now he has immunity because he appointed the last 3 justices. And ladies and gentlemen, justices serve a lifetime. Do you understand? They serve for life. And it's my understanding that he intends to force 2 of the oldest members of the court to retire. That gives him at least 2 more appointments. And then it's Katie bar the door. He will do whatever, because just those 3 plus the 2 that were already there, Republicans, he got immunity. They said when you become president again, you can do whatever you want. Whatever. And everything that you know, the way, your ability to vote is gone. And these young people are going to have to start all over again. Remember, these are the same people who got rid of affirmative action. They're not feeding your children this summer. They talk about what a great economy they had, and having done more for my Black brothers and sisters than any president. You grandmamas, grandpapas, tell these babies better.
I tell you what, and that is why what you do here with the Heritage Homeschool is so very valuable. And I want to put this comment up here from Mozilla. She says that Senator Sister Glover preach the wisdom. And we've got to thank you, because clearly some people are not listening. And maybe some of them are not spreading this information. This is in case your mama, your grandma, someone, your elders didn't tell you. This is for you. So make sure that you all share this. Everybody who has been in this chat, I want to thank you for being a part of this conversation. I want you to share this so that somebody can see this. Share this with young people. Allow them to see a portion of it, because they might need this information. Someone might not be sharing it with them the way that we've got Senator Glover here sharing this information. Also, I want to put up another one of Mozilla comments here. She said, teach Queen Sister, know the down ballot. Senator Glover of the historical team that worked for what we now appreciate as single member voting districts, Florence PD.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And she was one of those attorneys who helped make it happen here through legal services. Yes, 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 yes.
And that is why it is important to know who you are voting for locally.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Take the time. Talk to other people. Their records are there. You just got to do the research and stop relying on hearsay.
You can't believe everything that you hear out here. You do have to do a little bit of that homework.
You can't.
And you've got to be involved in conversations. You've got to listen to more than just a 1 minute TikTok reel. Your attention span should not be that short. You should be able to listen to a podcast that is an hour. You should be able to listen to someone give you some information that, okay, if you feel like you've heard it before, what's wrong with you listening to it again? What's wrong with you sharing it with someone else who probably hasn't? You have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
In fact, that's what the gangster said. Talking to his team, if you tell them enough, they'll believe it. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Tell you every time I get this opportunity. And again, thank you. Thank you, Miss Tanya. But every time I get this opportunity, I'm going to keep telling you the same thing over and over. And since some of you, small number, like the gangster, I'm going to use the gangsters. I'm going to use his terminology for you. And he said, ain't happening. I'm taking over. I'm going to be your czar. I'm going to be your dictator. As he told women, I'm going to protect you. Wait on it. And what does he call protection? You need to know that. Don't just hear that and he said he was going to protect us as women. This is the same man that took your right away, period. No medical care for anything. Contraceptives, they even took those away.
It's a lot out here. It's a lot, and like you said, the information is available. We are encouraging you to go to southcarolinavote.com if you haven't had an opportunity to get an idea of what the ballot is going to look like. You get to do that. You've got until November 2nd to do that early voting. That is the last day for early voting. So that ends November 2nd. Just want to make you aware of that. It's southcarolinavotes.org. You can put in your information. It's going to give you everything that you need to know, exactly how you are going to see your ballot for your district where you live. So make sure that you do that. And election day is going to be on November 5th. Election day is November 5th. Yes. So those of you who like to vote on election day, which I used to, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I got a little excited.
Oh, I'm happy that you did.
I got a little excited.
I'm happy that you did.
But I tell you what, thank you so much, Ms. Glover. You have given a lot of information. I thank you for your time. Thank everybody who was in the conversation with us. Thank y'all. Get out here and take some people out here to vote. If you voted early, do like what I am going to do. Make sure that you help some other people get to the poll. People who don't have the transportation, some of your elderly neighbors who might need a ride or need some help. I'm making myself available for that. So if you know someone, yes, you can get in my inbox and let me know, because I am available for that on election day, because your girl already voted.
Yes.
All right, let's get on out of here. Because I tell you what, if we don't, I see these comments keep on coming through, but I'm going to do these last two comments. We've got Miss Gloria Anderson in here. She said, "Thank you so much, Maggie Glover, class of 1966. All right.
See, all of them voted.
Yes, and we
All
got
of them taking other people to vote.
yes, and we
They
got
were doing registration and stuff during homecoming for Wilson. Yes, thank you, Miss Gloria.
yes, and but you know what? That was pretty exciting too, because I think the last time we were on here, we were talking about getting people registered to vote. Doing that was very, very. It was a great experience. I loved being able to help people be a part of the process. It brought me great joy when I got someone who actually came up to me and said, Miss Tanya, I got my registration card and was excited about it. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, those are just some of the things we got to do. And last comment from Kevin Brooks. Kevin, thank you for joining us. And he says, thank you, Senator.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, the only thing we
Thank
got
you.
left to do is you got to tell these people good night.
Good night, my brothers and sisters. I love you. And because I do, go vote.
All right. That's all, folks. Till the next time.